descending into Phoenix. We are here for sunset at Saguaro National Park, among the many cacti.
This is our little Airbnb we stayed in Tucson. Lots of different types of cacti. Look at these cool houses in this forest of saguaros. I guess you call it a forest, even though there's no leaves. Oh man, we just saw a coyote. Oh, gorgeous. Looky here, I found some cactus in bloom.
We decided a good way to start our vacation was to lock the keys in the car. Spent an hour and a half waiting for the locksmith, which is very friendly. And now we're starting our hike. A little late today.
There's literally no place on earth like this. Hot enough out here for you?
Yee.
Yeah.
It's only 9 o'clock. They can be very narrow at the bottom, despite being quite broad at the top. Here's a sample of our hike in Kings Canyon in Saguaro National Park. Get a chance to see the colors, the variety of the cacti, the size of the cacti, and how it comes together with the trail. A lot of bloom.
We feel very lucky to see some of these cactus in bloom. We think due to all the buds that were early in the season. We made it to the top. It was grueling. It's hot.
See a lot of these birds up here. We're not really sure what they are. I think they could be California condor, but we're not sure. They like the thermals and the drafts up here. It's breezy. So we found out from somebody on the path that the birds we saw were turkey vultures.
Well, it's later in the day, and I think these blooms are opening up even more than they were when we started.
How's the hike?
Lots of saguaros, lots of cacti blooms. The biggest one yet, I think. And it has a little baby.
We're finishing up our trail, and we came across a cactus that has lost all of its outside. So you can see the interior. fibrous tubes that grow up.
We're at the visitor center for Saguaro National Park.
Magic potion to recover from the hike from hell.
The hike from hell.
No, it was a nice hike, but it was hot. Warm inside. The hallmark of any great American vacation, a trip to Walmart.
Got the provisions for breakfast, lunches, and snacks for the next few days. We're gonna like it here. 3 nights.
Check out the outside too.
Yeah. This is a bit of an upgrade from last night because we only stayed for 1 night in Tucson. So we're here for 3 nights. Needed to be a little bit better with a washer and dryer. Really cool place.
Our casita.
Our casita. And we're gonna have a little bit of apples and wine and cheese, crackies. It's gonna be nice just sitting out here relaxing. Well, we're gonna start our first hike in Sedona. Fay Canyon. Like walking on the beach, it's so sandy.
You can barely hear civilization. That's where we walked up through that. We're hiking down.
Going up the Fay Canyon Arch now. We made it.
Barely.
Under this little ledge. This is a double arch. Double arch.
Going along this narrow trail right along these rocks. We decided to do an about face. Getting a little sketchy up here. We'll live for another day.
Yeah.
But it still is a nice climbing up here because you got a great view.
A misstep and you're
And we'll have another view.
dead. This is a nice view right here. Not so easy coming back down. I just saw a bobcat go across. We're starting another hike about 10:30 a.m. now. We just finished Fay Canyon and now we're doing the Doe Mountain hike. Just can't seem to put my camera down for any time at all. So pretty here. But this trail is really on the cliff. Wonder who lives here. We are at Montezuma's Well, a part of the Montezuma Castle National Monument. This is a cenote like they have in Yucatan. It's a limestone and sunken in and fed by a spring.
Smart construction.
There are no fish here, but there are lots of leeches in there. We're going down to see the cenote. So the water comes in from underneath and vents and then drains to a creek from here. Once a home to humans, now a home to bats. We're at Montezuma Castle. This is a cross section of the castle. The door at the top, and then a series of ladders to the underground chambers. This exhibit tells about the Sinagua Native Americans who lived here. This is Montezuma's Castle, misnamed by someone in the 1800s, not related to the Aztecs at all, but to the Sinagua, who built this around 1100 AD. The way people got up was a series of ladders, and these two little holes here were granaries storing grain. And they were here for about 300 years and then mysteriously left. This is the river that is right below Montezuma's Castle. It's the Tuzigoot National Monument Visitor Center. Handy.
Prickly pear cactus candy. I saw about this when we were in Tucson. They showed the process of making this. It is very labor intense. It's from the cactus bloom.
They have to take out all the spines.
We are at the Airport Mesa awaiting the sunset. Cars are streaming in to park. People are arriving. Selfies are being taken. And the sun is going down in about 15-20 minutes. Quite a scene up here. Sedona in the Zona.
Same video yesterday, but it's still mesmerizing when you see it as we drive down the road. Starting our first hike of the day, our second day in Sedona, we're going to Boynton Canyon, which is one of the 4 vortices in Sedona that's supposed to have some kind of electromagnetic energy. We'll find out if it does. beautiful trail. Since it's one of the vortexes, very heavily traveled. Here's one of the crazies right now.
This place down below is called the Enchantment Resort. Can see why. Woo. Beautiful. Right outside the hike zone. We brought massive quantities of the world's greatest trail mix, and we didn't bring enough.
We're in this beautiful canyon surrounded by bluffs. Trees are obscuring it a little, but we're definitely still surrounded by the red rock.
We're walking through the valley in Boynton Canyon. It's cooler here, lush, green. And the rock tops are getting whiter and whiter as we go along.
Seems like that would break right off of there.
Yeah, some imagination. I'm feeling some waves here, some kind of energy flow. I can't describe it. It just enters you, but you don't even know how it gets there or where it's coming from.
Comes from those crazy voices in your head.
I think I'm vibrating a little slower, a little faster than normal.
Wow, we are really close up to this just coming right out of the ground. Look straight up and down.
We made it to the end of Boynton Canyon. Very steep and rocky at the end. And then there's this area that's kind of surrounded on almost all sides by all the high rocks. And here's a little alcove we found in the shade to take a little respite. We forgot our sandwiches though. Wah, wah, wah.
Trail mix to the rescue.
Vortexing.
Mark is vortexing.
Upward down V, downward dog.
Time to go back down. It's hard to leave this place. What a 360.
Very rocky on the way down. Slow going. On our way back from the top.
It's 11 o'clock and it's really lit up nicely. We're in Jerome, Arizona, the historic city of Jerome. Trying to figure out what the big deal is about Jerome.
It's an old gold mining town.
Founded in 1879.
A lot of references to copper up here. Copper country.
Here's something. Lots of artist shops. Galleries. Restaurants. Ghost City Inn.
We're in Old Town Cottonwood, and we stopped at a place that has bocce ball. That was recommended by our Airbnb host as a good place to have dinner. And so we're here. We're out by the fire pit, and it's very pleasant. Oh, and I forgot to mention dinner. Pizza on the way.
We're at Merkin Vineyards tasting some Arizona Reds. Wait.
Sorry, Sangiovese, Tempranillo, and then a blend in the middle.
Okay. Mark thinks that this place is going to grow wine. They've definitely planted something in these rows.
An irrigation system, specifically, they've planted. That's something.
In the middle of Old Cottonwood, right off Main Street.
Why not?
Ooh la la.
Do we have room for that in our carry-on bag? I just want one. I like the shiny horsey. We are at the Tlaquepaque shopping area in Sedona. It's done in like Spanish period pieces with the red stone tile roofs and the balconies. It has all kinds of cool architecture. Ready to buy stuff?
Sure. A latte. We saw a lot of these pink Jeep tours. This place is really cute. Filled with galleries. Wow, look at this. Reminds me of Mexico. We've seen a lot of this turf, AstroTurf, around here, even at our B&B. In this mall, they have the coolest galleries I've ever seen. Well, we're saying goodbye to Sedona. Driving up Main Street and still incredible views. We're at the top of Walnut Canyon at the Visitor Center, preparing to go down a very steep trail to see some Sinagua people ruins.
It's a long way down, 700 steps roughly round trip. People used to live here. This was their home. There's natural ledge just carved out from when the river eroded for long enough and then dipped and created these natural roofs they built stone into to create walls. They lived up and down the entire bend here, some on this side and some across on the other side.
So this is a little island, or peninsula really, ledge that we're walking around. This is called Island Trail.
This is an example of one of the natural overhangs. They go on, and they are a deep recess, lending themselves towards natural shelter. And right across the valley there, again, is where other people lived
These larger rooms held people for sleeping and shelter from bad weather, and the smaller rooms were to store food and water. We're now going to the sunny side of this little island. I thought we would just see a few rooms, but there are rooms all along this trail that's a mile long. The white-capped top layers are hard limestone, and the alcoves dig into softer layers of limestone. Another dwelling across the canyon. In 1100 AD, a volcano erupted in Flagstaff, and people lost their farming communities and became clustered in dwellings in the cliffs. We're gonna get our kicks on Route 66 on the way to our next destination. Mark is getting us a burrito.
Good. They're really good.
Yeah.
Some kind of sauteed yumminess.
It's tasty. We are at Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument, and this is the Trail. This is lava flow called which is a Hawaiian name. This is the lava flow loop. Up there on the mountain, last little bit of snow.
We're descending down into the lava flow trail. We're at the lava flow hike still, and you can see the snow-covered mountains in the distance. The lava flow here in the foreground with some trees that have popped up there. Come around here, you can see where there's been wildfire in the bottom parts of the trees. In some cases, the whole trees have all burned down. And then this way is the top of the mountain where it's barren.
On our off-hiking day, this is our third national monument at the Wupatki National Monument Visitor Center now. Wupatki National Memorial. There are 100 rooms in this. Pueblo.
On a different trail?
We are at the Wukoki Pueblo, admiring the stonework that was laid maybe 800, 900 years ago, 1,000 years ago, and how it's survived. Here in the middle of Arizona.
What were the rods for?
Yeah, see, those are the holes that used to have branches in them, I mean sticks, that would make the second floor here.
Oh, the second floor. Oh, neat.
And I'm looking
places, like the Badlands in South Dakota, brown. It looks like the Egyptian pyramid and the Acropolis right next to each other, which it does. And it's natural. What?
It's crazy.
Nobody told us about this stuff. 25 minutes from the Grand Canyon, apparently. More terrain shots.
That's cool.
More video on the road to Page.
Jeez. Look at this.
Look
Oh my
at this
gosh.
canyon we're driving through now. Whoa.
Take a picture,
Wow.
Need to get this.
Okay, I'm getting it.
We made it to Page, Arizona, and we have a nice Airbnb. We're on our way to Antelope Canyon. Going to Antelope Canyon. Lower Antelope.
That's when this became our entrance. Eventually, it made it a one-way canyon. Before that, guys, it was actually a two-way.
End of tour. This whole relief is of the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area.
And the blue part is Lake Powell, which runs a couple hundred miles north and south, and the southwest edge of it is the discharge of the Colorado River. That's dark area is where we're going to be doing our float trip tomorrow, and then that leads into the Grand Canyon. This was all made by a guy, this map, out of styrofoam made with dental tools.
We are in the visitor center looking out the window at the dam to Glen Canyon. Wow.
For the grass?
We're at the visitor center still at the Glen Canyon Dam. This shows how the layers of the earth can be viewed in Glen Canyon. Glen Canyon showing Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic periods, where in Grand Canyon you only see a little bit before Triassic, and then down Grand Canyon goes all the way down to Precambrian. The Colorado Plateau is in the Four Corners region and was uplifted, and the Colorado River cut through it, creating the canyons. Well, there's the bridge we went over, and this is the actual dam. And look how low the lake is. It's only about a quarter full right now, but they expect it's gonna be pretty much full after the snow melts. We're gonna do Beehive Trail. Not sure how this day could get any cooler. This is really neat how they marked out this trail.
Going for a walk on the Beehive Trail, part of the Lake Powell Recreation Complex, with my queen bee.
This is so awesome.
There's my queen bee. Bzzz.
This is so awesome.
Ching 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 ching.
We're at the top. Looking down into more.
Hiking through the beehives. We're hiking through the beehives. We didn't even know about this place. Just found out about it at the visitor center. Never would have planned to come here. This is just like one of the many things that are all around here. You like it. I know you do.
It's crazy. Look at that view behind you.
Like a scene from Star Wars.
This is an incredible 360. That's where we just were, at the overlook. Interesting seeing the way the ground has been tilted in the striations. It reminds us of the Valley of Fire in Nevada, except for that was white and pink striped. Well, we can't get enough.
Says who?
We're here at the Hanging Garden. Is it cool? It's cool up here, meaning temperature-wise.
Yeah. It's a relief from the heat, definitely.
Under this ledge is the hanging garden. A seepage garden. Gotcha.
We are having dinner at the Birdhouse?
Birdhouse.
Birdhouse in lovely Page, Arizona, after hiking Antelope Canyon and a bunch of other stuff. And we have fried chicken, the only 4.7 review place in all of Page or better, and also cool beer, the Prickly Pear. Unbelievably cool can. Look at that. Boom.
We are in a long tunnel going to the base of Glen Canyon Dam.
We're heading down to the Colorado Riverboat tour. We're starting at the other end of Lake Powell, right on the other side of the dam.
Going down the Colorado River.
They used to use those ones. It was a propane engine. And they used to use those ones for the float. Trail where the bighorn sheep actually come down nowadays. Down this route.
We got off the boat and we're stopping to see some petroglyphs. This is Horseshoe Bend where we were last night. We're gonna go around it on the boat. Here's some petroglyphs. At the base of this 1,000-foot wall.
That's cold.
45 degrees.
That's what they say. I believe them. Up at the top here at the rim is where we were last night.
We're going around the tip of Horseshoe Bend now.
Yeah, you can't tell you're inside the horseshoe when you're down here.
Pictures on the internet. Seepage? Just below that.
This brown patch here.
Yeah.
I have cans for you.
1,400 feet high down there, the highest wall in Glen Canyon. There's a wild horse right there in the middle.
Came across some wild horses towards the end of our journey here.
Well, G, now all this darker, boxier stuff is the Kayenta sandstone underneath the smooth Navajo sandstone up top, and then way down there, the diagonal lines, the Monave sandstone. And then when we get around that corner, you'll see some, start seeing a bunch of colorful stuff, which is the Chinle Shell formation. So a bunch of new formations here.
It's the first Vermilion Cliffs, the first two steps of the Grand Staircase. We are headed back on a bus now, back to Page, and we're looking at the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. Looks like a lace top.
Right over the Colorado River.
After our float down Colorado River and our many adventures for the last week, we're taking it easy tonight, having a little having a little wine and cheese tonight, watching the sunset from our balcony. Nice night.
This is my new car. It's going completely green. This is even better than a Tesla. It doesn't consume any energy at all.
Doesn't look too comfy. Heading to Antelope, Upper Antelope Canyon.
Alrighty guys, welcome to Upper Antelope Canyon. Take your photos. So this what makes Upper Antelope Canyon very popular are these light shafts. Because one more, and then we'll do our family shots. Okay. So everybody.
What do you think?
Super fun.
To the bottom, but lighter to the top. So in the morning time, they get a lot of good color. So that's what makes this canyon popular. COVID hit, 3,000 to 4,000 people will come through the canyon in one day. That was a lot compared to now. So now, about 98, and that's when one of the first tour guides, our first tour company started, and then from that point on. As the slopes got higher, erosion took place, a new layer of sand got put on top. So those are all different time periods of sanding. And I asked one, because I actually took the geologist.
Well, that was amazing. Amazing.
I want to show you guys something.
The exit of Antelope.
So this will start to occur.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
We're leaving Page, getting one last look at the Vermilion Cliffs.
To start out, I have strontium chloride. This is found in like toothpastes actually. But when it burns, it creates this nice pretty red color that we see. This is salt. When added to the flame, it creates kind of a yellow orange. This is boric acid, which is sometimes found in like laundry detergents. And when it's added to the flame, it creates this beautiful green that we see. In it is copper. So it's going to kind of create this beautiful spark that we'll see. And it'll be kind of like bluish green. Yeah. The tips of the flame are actually going to be more lavender in color. And that's where we kind of get that purple from that potassium that's present here.
We're at the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff. This is one of their telescopes built in 1896. We're going to look at Regulus, a star, and it's still light. This is a telescope that discovered Pluto. Well, somehow I have convinced Mark to come to the filming site of one of my favorite films of the 80s, Starman. We're at the Meteor Crater Museum, a very nice museum explaining all about the impact.
The shock of impact melted most of the meteor and spread it with the large plume of debris.
This is the largest fragment, 1,500 pounds. We saw a 500-pound fragment last night at Lowell Observatory, and the other one's at the Field Museum in Chicago.
So the diameter of this blast from the meteor is supposedly about a mile. And it's hard to get a sense of scale from this video, but way down at the bottom there's a replica of an astronaut and the US flag right in the middle. The Grand Canyon is about 10 miles across on average. The meteor that formed this was 50 meters wide, and this is a kilometer and a half wide rim. See if we can get a sense of the astronaut looking through the telescope here. Hello, there he is. There he is.
When they trained the astronauts who went to the moon here, one of them ripped his spacesuit collecting rock samples, which led to them creating a better suit. We are in Winslow, Arizona, standing on the corner. There's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford.
Standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, not in a flatbed Ford. Take a look at me. Come on, baby. Looks like it did.
Well, we've been on and off of Route 66. We went to Oklahoma City, not this trip. One of these days we'll go to Albuquerque, and we're in Winslow right now. We were in Flagstaff. One of these days, Santa Monica. We're in Petrified Forest National Park. 217 million years ago, when these trees were alive, the Petrified National Forest was near the equator. So this diagram shows that Grand Canyon goes from 2 billion years ago up through time to the Kaibab limestone, I think. And then Zion is much later, and Petrified Forest is right there. Conifers and ginkgos were the ones that were actually petrified. This is the Giant Logs Trail behind the visitor center. These colors are amazing. Wow. Different minerals form different colors. The yellows are the most surprising to me. I mean, this is crazy cool.
These logs, what's left of them, the remnants, are from about 200 million years ago when trees fell into the river, got covered with water and sediment. It preserved, they didn't oxidize, and the organic material was replaced by silicon. And then they were re-exposed when the sediment was washed away eventually to expose what 200 million years would do and form all these beautiful colors from the chemical remnants that deposited within the trees. What do you think?
It's yellow and reds. Especially the yellow is really surprising.
Different chemicals are responsible for the different colors.
I'm not sure what's going on with the sun here, but that's very odd. Ring around. is formed by ice crystals, and the light coming through and reflecting or refracting. We're on the Long Logs Trail and going to Agate House, and the terrain is just splattered with petrified wood. This is the Agate House, made of petrified wood by Pueblo Indians in the same time period as the other monuments we've seen of Pueblo Indians, around 1100 AD. They found other similar structures in Petrified Forest National Park, suggesting a community. Dang. Look at this one.
This is the Agate House, built out of petrified wood.
This is the coolest house I've ever seen. Unbelievable, the colors. They must have searched for the best ones around. Whoa. That orange. Oh my gosh, look at that.
This is another example of one of these multicolored stone. This one really has a lot going on.
Yeah. We're at the Blue Mesa Trailhead.
We're walking through the Blue Mesa Trail.
Pretty cool, huh?
Very cool.
This lighting, because we turned 180 degrees, looks more pink. This rock looks like it's cemented together. The Painted Desert Rim Trail. This is Painted Desert Inn. Really like how they make things look like the red rocks here. This is Cochina Point. This is the Painted Desert Inn, and this is some of the Navajo art. This inn was a stop on Route 66. In the 1930s. Right here is a wash in the summer months during the monsoon season. In Flagstaff, going to dinner. This is the historic downtown.
We're strolling around downtown Flagstaff. It's a charming little town. All historic. 3-4-story buildings. Cool architecture. Good vibe. Great lighting. And a good restaurant. What's it called again?
Shift.
Shift. Shift just shifted my waistline.
We're at the Grand Canyon, South Rim, and we're going to do South Kaibab Trail into the canyon.
First view. Getting uppity.
Wow, it's really steep. Really steep. I don't know how we're going to get back up. Wow, this hike is unbelievable. To really see the different layers of the canyon. This canyon goes down 1 mile.
Well, we've already taken a bunch of movies, and we're probably like 10% of the way down. So this is the knee conservation break. Incredible every way you look.
We're at the Ooh Ah point. Ooh Ah.
I'm not saying.
This side's pretty too. Gonna start our uphill climb now. I think this might be the best view. We're in the canyon somewhat, but not too low. Halfway up or more, but we're entering the steepest part, and this is the last portion with all of the switchbacks. Almost all the way up. We're not sure if this view on the way down was as lit up in the sun or not. It's pretty now. Gorgeous hike, gorgeous hike. Gorgeous. What do you think?
10. It's a 10.
It is.
This view looks literally gorgeous. There's the trail down we just came up. There's the view across. And we got a little ways to go.
We're searching for the perfect magnet in the Grand Canyon Visitor Center park store. We're at the Grand Canyon South Rim at the Visitor Center at Mather Point. This is the most sweeping view. 1 mile down. How many miles across?
10.
10 miles across. Wow. Wow.
Ça pensait au truc Maya, ça fait pas penser un peu, genre on dirait le truc au Pérou là.
Yeah, we're gonna try to pick wildlife.
What are you doing?
All the way down to the Precambrian layer. Way down there is the river. A little mud puddle down there. 10 miles wide, 1 mile deep. So we were at Glen Canyon Dam and we rafted down to Lee's Ferry. And now we're here. Homemade pies. Mentioned it and Mark came to a screeching halt. Didn't even bother to turn around. He just backed up in the road and got in a parallel parking place. How can one restaurant have so many pies? They said they had 80% of them too.
We stopped in at a homemade pie place on Route 66, and we are having cherry apple something pie,
Cherry apple peach.
cherry apple peach, and blueberry apple peach, a latte, and a smile.
In Williams, Arizona.
Standing in a cafe, sitting in a cafe in Williams, Arizona.
We decided to buy this cup. We're walking up Route 66 in Williams. Not as big a collection as in Oklahoma City stockyards.
But a little more tastefully displayed. Yeah, possibly.
I want that one. That's mine.
Natalie did this one.
Oh, Jenks. $500. Nah, I guess I can't get that today. Dang it, my second choice is $4.99. I wanted that one for my country line dancing that I'm gonna be taking up. Cars of the Mother Road. The Mother Road is Route 66. On the road from Flagstaff back to Sedona, taking the scenic 89A again, but in a different direction this time. This is Cathedral Rock, one of the famed Sedona vortexes. We're at the Secret Garden back in Sedona in Tlaquepaque Shopping Center before we have to go back. But it's perfect weather, and we just got a freeze warning text from Chicago. Got some corn chowder and some hummus. Looks good. Good choice, Mark. Best place in the world to shop?
Very pleasant, super relaxing environment. Fun to be here, whether you're going to buy something or look for something, just to walk around.
Yeah, got a musician. Galleries with musicians and visually stunning plazas everywhere. Navajo rugs.
Goodbye, Phoenix. Goodbye, Arizona. We'll be back.